Hey people, what's good? It's the Black Mr.Wilson once again coming at you. This time with an impromptu, I would say, video podcast. It's just I gotta talk about something. It's just getting on my nerves. Like, I guess you can call me jaded on the situation, and that situation is pretty much the Ahmaud Arbery situation. Now, I'm not blaming the victim at all. Like, no, it's not his fault. He was jogging, and of course, the usual fucking spoiled pieces of fucking, spoiled jars of fucking mayonnaise and milk and shit had a heart attack because a black man was jogging down the neighborhood he lived in and dared to stop in a house under construction and exist and didn't actually steal anything. And they had to lie about, why they chased him. Also, if you look at the title, like, are you actually tired of being tired? A lot of people aren't. A lot of black people aren't tired of being tired. They say they are. Every year, every fucking year, we get these fucking cases that are make headline news. The only reason we even found out about this is because regular people saw the video, because the DA has a history of corruption and covering shit up for the good old guys and good old girls and shit. But still, are you tired of actually being tired? No, most of us aren't. It is 2020. How many years has it been after slavery and Jim Crow and Reconstruction and all kinds of other shit? And what has actually changed? Fucking nothing. Nothing has actually changed. It, it's just one of those fucking things. It's just, come on. Again, are you actually tired? No. No, that goes for a lot of us. Because if more of us was actually tired, more of us would be, skipping this fucking place, just leaving it behind, looking for a better future. But a lot of us are stuck in hamster wheel activism. And you wonder what that is as well. Hamster wheel activism is pretty much, you go out, you form a hashtag or a march or whatever, and you get a chant going and like hands up, don't shoot, or something else to that effect, right? Or Black Lives Matter, yeah. And it gains some traction in the media for a while, then it just goes away. Then another year happens, another year comes by, and we get another case or another 2 or 3 cases that are in the news for a while. And we just rinse and repeat, like, rinse, dry out, whatever the fuck, and repeat. It's the same fucking cycles. And you get the usual suspects, your fucking Al Sharptons and your Jesse fucking Messi Jacksons and maybe every now and then Farrakhan, who still doesn't have a fucking successor for the NOI, but it's a whole nother episode, and there's other people that can speak on that better than me. But you get the usual people coming out condemning it and shit. Surprisingly, now we have Tom Brady. Tom Brady and the Patriots, of all fucking people. I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe a dude with a MAGA hat that was all about Trump, and every fucking victory and game he had in NFL had an asterisk pretty much next to the shit. But this dude actually was, was like, hey, we should really look into this, and signed a letter to send it to the FBI. Who knows when that shit's gonna fucking go? All at the same time, people was like, oh my God, Tom Brady, surprised and applauding Brady, which, all right, fine, whatever. That's unexpected of him, I would say. I guess a congratulations are in order, because that'd be the last person you expect or suspect of his stature and just knowing him. But when Kaepernick just took a knee, people just lost their shit, which made no sense, because all he did was take a knee. He wasn't even asking for cameras while he was doing it. He didn't do it during the game. He did the shit before the fucking game. But all he did was take a knee. People had a fucking issue with Tom Brady fucking, hey, yeah, let's get the other Patriots together and sign a letter. But yeah, so with that, that's another spotlight, a spotlight attractor and shit. And you got these dudes going, "Oh God, I'm getting, I'm getting death threats." And so if they are, honestly, good. If they aren't, well, you know, I don't really expect much from, like, other than we get the one-off black people too that kind of lose their shit, like Chris Dorner, the dude that got blown up by a fucking robot. Uh, who else? The recent guy that just shot in his workplace because he got tired of the racism. I think there's another dude before him. It's just so many. It's hard to keep all the names together, but you know how to use Google and shit, right? You just look it up on Google. But yeah, like all these instances, and what actually changes? Nothing actually changes. So are you tired of being tired? No. And if you say you are, then, you know, shameless plug, join the BAIO, which I should have put the link in the description, but look at my last video and the link is there. And the last video is called Why I Think the BAIO is Important. Now we're going to tie this into why land infrastructure and nationhood is important. One moment. I hate the fucking heater in my place. Give me one moment. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Hopefully, it doesn't sound like a total fucking wind tunnel like it was starting to. But, and if you didn't hear it before, good. But I just wanted to take precaution. Anyway, back on track. Now, if black people are actually tired of being tired, we'll start looking. It could be, and the planet is big. There's a whole world out there. There's islands, there's fucking other continents, there's other countries, there's a lot of other places other than here that can be also called home, or a forward operations base, and FOB, or even create like African American towns, because we all know black culture is the biggest thing on the fucking planet. Black people make everything cool. Look at the fucking Amazon strikes. Who inspired that? Black guy. Who's still making it popular, and Amazon trying to like smear him and shit? A black man. So we know we get shit popping, but do we benefit from what other people use from us? No. Do we actually try to, get some benefit off of that? No. Whether it's good or bad, we know we get shit popping. But when are you gonna get shit popping for yourself? And I don't mean the whole, I got mine, fuck y'all niggas, I'm out of here. I'm not saying that kind of get shit popping, but for like black people in general. Now I know a lot of motherfuckers, black people on the monolith. You got a lot of fucking dick socks, along for the ride in this black skin suit we're living in right now, for the time being, until we die, and maybe you come back, maybe you don't. Who the fuck knows, right? But anyway, when are we gonna start looking abroad? The whole there's black people all over the planet, right? It's black people. One of the larger black populations outside of like America and Africa is what, Brazil. They're also facing fucking crazy ass racism down there. You got a lot of, what I find funny, just to get off topic for a little bit. We know Hispanic is an actual race and shit. And, for those of us who know the history, and even those that, some of us that don't, just know that, slaves or captured prisoners of war were dropped off all over the Western Hemisphere, from fucking Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, all the fucking places you can name, right? Where it is quote unquote Hispanics, right? Hispanic is not a race. Again, anybody that speaks Spanish and has a Spanish culture and shit like that, practice a Santeria and Setera and shit like that, can be considered Hispanic, right? So when you get the light skinned Hispanics that's more white, Funny enough, all of a sudden they just start practicing their own kind of European-esque racism against the darker skins. Good example, other than Brazil and the Bolsonaro regime, is Cuba. There's a reason why, when you go to Florida, you see a lot of light-skinned, damn near white Cubans. It's because when the Batista regime, when Cuba was pretty much a mafia and CIA playland and shit like that, before the whole Bay of Pigs incident, you had a lot of light, damn near white Cubans having Afro Latinos, if you want to call them Afro Latinx, whatever, the darker skinned Cubans, which is of heavy African descent from being on that island already and getting dropped off. They were pretty much indentured servitude and servants. I don't know if it was closer to chattel slavery. I doubt it. But it was more of indentured servitude and shit like that. So, with that being said, Che Guevara and Fidel Castro like, nah, we not having this shit. Fuck the U.S. corruption nonsense down here. We taking over. So they took over. So a lot of those white, damn near white, or white Cubans fled. They fled. The darker ones stayed behind. They're the ones that all got to go to Miami and shit like that and enter the U.S. Nobody had a problem with immigration when the Cubans were coming because they're white, they're light, damn near white, right? Nobody had an issue. But all of a sudden, Castro, oh God, he's a dictator, he's a horrible tyrant, blah, 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 blah. Bay of Pigs happens, and embargoes and shit happen. Mind you, today Cuba's doing fairly better, way better in terms of healthcare and even literacy rate under such a horrible regime. Now you got to understand, the appearance of democracy doesn't work for everybody, right? So they say, oh, well, America's democratic. No, it's an oligarchy. And you go, oh God, communism is so bad. Yeah, dictatorships are bad and shit. But you got to understand, different systems don't work. Like, certain systems don't work for everybody, right? So the illusion of democracy here, let's say it was transported out to another country, maybe they're not used to, quote unquote democracy. They good with their communism. It is what it is. As long as the leaders aren't massacring innocent people because of whatever dumbass dictatorship like a communist beliefs, fine, whatever. You like, your communist shit, fine. Your leader's not killing you because of nonsense, fine, whatever. But besides that, right? So Cuban shit happened. Fidel Castro took over. The white Cubans fled. Nobody had an issue with immigration. Elian Gonzalez, I ain't hear not a motherfucker complain growing up about Elian Gonzalez. Everyone's, oh my God, Elian, Castro. Nobody complained. The minute, you had some darker skinned people trying to come over, well, they get sent back. Like if somebody from Haiti in a boat try and like come in the country, the Coast Guard is sending their asses right the fuck back. Right? But let a white damn near like Cuban whatever come over, hey, here's your citizenship, is boom, there you go. There you fucking go. I would say the only really exception to the rules, because America successfully took over, was pretty much Puerto Rico, right? Yeah, what the fuck is another hate whitey stream? I don't, like, you're gonna have to explain that to me. Anyway, other than that dumb shit. So that fucking happened. Now, seeing like black people seeing that, we know the history of being zero immigration from like black countries and shit like that, and just being here with the redlining constantly after Jim Crow, and then you had them blowing up black fucking towns constantly. You would think, hey, maybe they really don't want us here. Now, yeah, I understand. A lot of people go, oh, well, we're here. We built this. Yeah, you built it for free, right? So you're not morally, yes, we're old shit, but do you really think you're gonna get it? No, you're not getting anything. Like, I don't know how many studies we need. I don't know how many like studies, evidence, proof showing like, hey, this country gives no fucks about you. Like the hamster wheel activism, the all we can we all just get along shit is going nowhere. Yeah, I don't. Well, Josh, that if white people actually like did something, maybe there wouldn't be a lot of hate whitey videos. Well, I'm not talking about refugees in Europe. You want to talk about that? You're on YouTube and you can start your video on that. Honestly, right now I'm trying to stay on the topic of why black people should really think about land infrastructure nationhood and the refugees in Europe. That's for another show. Anyway, so with America showing us all this, with teachers like Claude Anderson, Leonard Jeffries, Khalid Muhammad, sometimes Farrakhan, like Malcolm X, MLK, Medgar Evers, all these people we've had that was on the front lines, that marched and all of this, and you seen them get dropped one after the next, after the next, after the next, after J. Edgar Hoover instating COINTELPRO, which pretty much leaked in the white society, because they sometimes they create monsters and don't think it's gonna start affecting them. But even after all that, like, why? What's the main purpose of us still trying to build up this country? Even every time you do something, you just get shit on. Like in 29 in the 2000s, why are we still the first pilots or the first this or the first that? Black people been here for how long? Been doing how many things, and we're still relegated and fine with being the first of anything. Like it should just be, it shouldn't even be, it should be regular. It shouldn't even say the black first. Should just be like, well, such and such is the pilot of this, or such and such is an astronaut. We shouldn't even have to have black in front of it at all. It should just be the person's name. And but unfortunately, because of history, the ongoing history of the country, it is like you got to put black in this or black that, because black people have been held out of so much shit, no matter how much they've contributed, bad or good. It's like, come on. So the world is pretty big. So just say like if you want to go to Guatemala, right? If you got like 10 black people together to start like some kind of fund, and be like, hey, let's go to Guatemala and build some shit. You get there, you got your visa and all that paperwork in line, right? And start building something, and you ain't getting any pushback. No pushback at all. What's wrong to say to go, hey, well, America, yeah, we come from there, but that's more like a satellite, like home for us. That's going to be the second. We're going to push that to the secondary home. And this community that we're building in Guatemala, that we getting love from and we can prosper. We don't have to worry about getting denied for loans and jobs because your name is Letitia and not Karen, or your name is Darren, and this white dude's named Darren. You ain't got to worry about showing up to the interview like, oh, well, yeah, it was a 50-50. That was a black guy, but it's a black guy now, so I'm really not going to give him the job. Like, instead of having to worry about what to name your children, honestly, we got to worry about what to name our children. You got to give them a quote unquote normal sounding name, so he has or she has a slightly more of a chance that their application won't get thrown in the garbage. Come on. Now, if the hypothetical town in Guatemala, you ain't got to do that. So that could be that could be a black town there. Like you got Chinatowns and Little Italies and all kinds of other places, like little Polish and shit, and like all kinds of other little communities all over the place. Why the fuck can't we do the same? Like, why are we at this point relegating ourselves to stay in a place that doesn't like you? Like, you're third or fourth class citizens. it's pretty much white guy, white woman, other minorities, whatever the fuck they may be, right? Then you got dogs and cats, like animals in general, just pets, then there's you. That is you right there at the bottom of the totem pole. Why are we relegating ourselves to that at all? It makes no sense. Say if like, if you went to Japan, well, I don't know about Japan because they kind of nationalistic about their shit. Even though there's too many old people there and the workforce isn't really being replaced fast enough. All right, maybe not Japan. All right, let's pick another country. Maybe fucking, I don't know, New Zealand or Greenland or Botswana. You go any of these places, right? Set up shop. You could build. Maybe they break you off a piece of maybe if it may say 2% of black people here went, just 2%, not even 5, just 2 went somewhere else, not in hat in hand, not that begging bullshit. Say they just went. Companies love straight names. They have diversity quotas. It's 2020. Anything non-white is loved. All right, Josh. So just notice they have diversity quotas, right? So that means it's not really loved. They have quotas because they get paid off of having a certain number of whoever there. That doesn't mean it's love. It's corporations, first and foremost, at the top of the order, look to make profits. The second order is who's running the show. At the bottom of the barrel is hiring anybody else. So companies love strange names according to nothing. They have a quota to fill. Don't mean they're gonna have you're gonna have a strange, whatever's considered a strange name. I don't know, like, Letitia really isn't a strange name to me. But to the European run companies, they'll consider it a strange name. Then they have a quota for it. Doesn't mean they love it. They just found out that they can get paid. 100% diverse according to nothing. And it doesn't literally mean 0% white, because even white women benefit from affirmative action, even though they're not the minority. So please, they don't strive for diversity. There's nothing proof. There's nothing, no information out there that you can give anybody, let alone me, to prove that bullshit. All right, buddy? But thank you for listening. Anyway, back on track from that nonsense. The black people actually just 2% went to build anything, right? And they had no pushback. They got broken off a piece of land. Just a little piece of land. And they can build on the land. Guess what? You'll actually own something. Then you can build on that more. Just like Africa has the deal with China. China's building infrastructure. Yeah, I know a lot of people go, oh, well, China's just another colonizer. Besides that, right? So we know China can't fully be trusted. And when they start moving in and buying places and shit, there's a lot of people in China. So they can't have every fucking body living in that one place, because there's a lot of these motherfuckers. Especially when you have, one child minimum and just recently got rid of that. It's a lot of you motherfuckers. So they go out and, they do their deals and shit. So maybe it is for mostly the benefit of them. But besides that point, say you get broken off a piece of land and you can make a deal or whatever. Like, hey, this is your side, right? This is your little pocket. You can do whatever it is that you want, but then you just got to work out the politics of trade and what currency you're going to use and how your infrastructure may connect to your main host nation. 2% of black people can actually do that. If we can live here for centuries on end, constantly contributing to this country, making all kinds of inventions, I'm pretty sure we can go anywhere else to do that, right? And if you don't believe me, shit hasn't actually changed, I'll share my screen. So here we go. Give me one moment. Still getting used to fucking StreamYard. So let's see. The first one up is a long-standing one, right? Here we go. Sociologist on how black men try to appear non-threatening as a defense mechanism. Yeah, bro. Like this is still a thing. This is still a thing. Ari Shapiro. The host. On February 23rd, Ahmaud Arbery went for a run in his hometown town of Brunswick, GA. He never finished that jog. As we know, a videotape emerged this week showing the 25-year-old black man gunned down by a white man. The shooter says he thought Arbery was a burglar because, they make up any excuse. No one has been arrested. Well, that was then. So catching up to a current day, two has been arrested. The one that filmed it is out, quote unquote, fearing for his life or some bullshit. All right. So yeah. Now let's see. You go down. Ray. Okay, so I'll just start here. Ray. Sure. So black men go through what we call in sociology a signaling process, where they try to signal that they belong. They try to signal that they're not threatening. Brent Staples talked about this when he was at the University of Chicago, talked about how he would whistle classical music as he was walking down the street to appear less threatening. See, that's the fucking issue. Why? Why? We know why these other people, want to feel, oh God, he's whistling classical music. He's not listening to that thug music while their fucking daughter Timmy, Jean, and fucking Johnny and fucking Richard Dicksock are banging fucking NWA, know all the Tupac lyrics, Hail Mary fucking lyrics, right? But why are we actually trying to do this to ourselves? Like, why must you emasculate yourself to appear less threatening? For 400 plus years, we've been doing this. All right, continue. The men in the study show who were engaging in physical activity would do things like wear an alumni t-shirt when they would go for a run. They would run in well-lit areas, run in densely populated areas. They would wave and smile at neighbors, or at neighbors. It says "and" for some reason. Edit. But they would always have the IDs on them because you need your freedom papers. Like, why are we still relegate? It's 2020, right? Because everybody loves to mention a fucking year. It's 2020, and we still relegating ourselves to pretty much, Germany times, where you can't leave one section and go into another one without your fucking freedom papers. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, come on. Why are you doing that? That makes no sense. And then when we go, they would run in well there, blah, blah, blah. They would always have the ideal, their freedom papers. I mean, these are the types of activities that the people don't do when they're trying to engage in exercise. Shapiro. And so when you look at the case of Ahmaud Arbery, this black man who was shot and killed going for a run in his hometown of Brunswick, GA, what insight can you help bring to that incident based on your academic expertise, Ray? Yeah, first, my heart just goes out to his family. It's always unfortunate when my research continues to become reality. One big thing we know is that the neighborhood is a predominantly white neighborhood. And this is another thing. Like, I understand you want to get out the quote unquote ghetto, right? You want to get out the projects, so to speak. Fair enough. But when you start moving to these all white neighborhoods, a lot of black people don't actually think beyond, it ain't the ghetto. They don't think beyond that. Because we've been fed stories over and over again about, one day we gonna get a nice house in the suburbs and get out. Well, guess what? Now it's 2020 and they gentrifying the fuck out of you in your so-called ghettos, with your urban areas. They gentrifying the fuck out of you there and moving you into the ghetto. The suburbs, so they can take over the quote unquote ghetto and urban renewal it. This is another issue. Like, so say that 2% built up a neighborhood somewhere else, you wouldn't have to worry about this. This wouldn't be an issue at all. At fucking all. Excuse me, I didn't want to cough in your ears. But yeah. So well over 50% white. What is that doing for any fucking body? Nothing. It's just making you a bigger. You went from city police harassing you to now your neighbors calling the cops on you because you changing a tire, you changed a flat in the middle of the road. Now I'm not gonna say all your neighbors gonna do that, but If you got a pit of snakes, they all may not be poisonous, but you want to jump in and find out who the fuck is and who the fuck isn't? Come on. All right. So that neighborhood where it happened wasn't surprising. There you go. And also, the incident wasn't surprising. There you go. Like, unfortunately, it's the same story, the same script we hear over and over again. This is a person who I thought had done something previously, and I was going to make a citizen's arrest and ask that they and it showed that dude did fucking nothing other than walk into a house under construction. Now, with that, right? Because they try to release that video claiming oh, this is the smoking gun. He wasn't just a jogger, because you have pieces of shit like Michelle Malkin come out. Don't make the current case and the race hustlers like Sean King and so whoever the fuck that make you think ill of white people and the cops. Like, no, bitch. These groups do that themselves pretty well, all by themselves. They don't need any help. Then this leads to another fucking pet peeve is you don't understand how much this shit pisses me off. When you get the quote unquote allies, right? Let's, like, for right now, I guess you can classify the allies not as left. Okay? Just left. Not gonna unwrap all the whole intricacies of the left's a whole nother fucking video in itself and doesn't really pertain to this right now, but just say the left. You got these motherfuckers who love most of them. I'll say you got 10% that actually knows the fucking deal, that are probably more important than the 90% of these other motherfuckers, right? The 90% of these motherfuckers they do this all the time. They pass the buck to the rich. The minute they can spin it into it just being a class situation, no matter how many times we get studies out to say racism is still a fucking problem and it's still an issue, they try and just combine it all the way into a class issue. They just pass the buck off to rich people. Then the rich people become this amalgamous floating fucking gray matter that just has loads of fucking money. Like, they just pretend we don't know what these people look like. Anything, they just pass it on to the fucking, oh well, the rich really want to put us against each other. Like, look, motherfucker, look, that line of thought, that circle jerk line of thought, pretty much gives white people themselves no agency. That removes agency from them, which is bullshit. Right? If you can so-called be the father of this and the inventor of that and the mother of this and all this other shit they hold themselves in high esteem and pedestals for, don't come to me and tell me that the rich guy made you hate black people. Nah. No. Now, yes, I'm pretty sure you got the rich racist assholes that put out propaganda, and the really stupid people are gonna fucking fall for it, but it's been how long? It's the age of information. We had since the fucking 90s. We've had AOL and all kind of Net Zero, Netscape, all shit to get to the internet. You no longer need a Encyclopedia Britannica to find out info fucking mation. No longer need that at all. You don't need that at all. And nobody lives in a vacuum. But yeah, we can literally still go and see all white towns with no fucking problem where they've never seen a black person, right? Or even tried to venture, or you get stupid ass stories like, oh yeah, one time I was in the Bronx and I went down the air quotes wrong street and I had to roll up my windows because Or you get another stupid ass story. Oh yeah, when I was in college, dude, bro, I was banging this really hot black chick. Or, oh yeah, man, I love Tupac or Biggie or whatever black mainstream fucking rapper or some shit, right? So you get and it goes on and on the stories. I'm pretty sure if you're black and you've had to encounter white people for more than 5 fucking minutes, you've heard these stories, right? But again, back to the left, they always start just trying to go, oh well, they're just trying to divide us. Like, no, regular ass white people do that themselves all day, every day. Jeff Bezos did not make these fucking idiots chase down a man and kill him in cold blood because they supposedly thought he was stealing, even though he was running with nothing in his fucking hands. He was a thief. Yeah, what the fuck are you gonna steal out of something under construction? The fucking wood? Was he gonna take a 2x4? He's gonna take a floor joist or some shit like that and just run down the street with it. Yeah, in broad daylight, broad fucking daylight, with a truck parked in the driveway. Because if he really wanted to steal, why didn't he go in? Why didn't he root through the fucking truck? But why didn't he pick up building material, something that he could carry, then run away? So again, like I said, 10% know what the fuck the deal is. 10% know what the fuck the deal. I've been around the 10% of these people, and they cool to be around because you ain't gotta hear stupid ass black jokes. They just not even funny ones either. They're just straight fucking stupid. Like almost everything's a dick joke. And they go out their way to make sure they don't say fucking dumb shit. Like they go out their own way, which honestly they don't. In all reality, they don't have to, but they do, to make shit not awkward. It ain't always some kind of fucking sexual innuendo bullshit or something about the fucking ghetto. You know. And if it's a joke, they try and ease into it. Like, oh, is he comfortable? Okay, cool. I can make. You know what I mean? So you got the 10%, then you got the 90%. Or the fucking so-called allies that just try and twist all this into fucking a straight class issue, because it's not. Also, right? Remember, you going out to these white neighborhoods, but then you also got to deal with the until you leave to the glorious suburbs where the grass is greener, except with the no niggas allowed sign on it. You got this, all right? So let me share this because I have to go back into this. All right, boom. There we go. Take a listen.
The clash between police and the public on the Lower East Side became a flashpoint in the new era of social distancing enforcement.
The way they tossed my son in the street, broke ribs, stood on his head like as though he was nothing. It just sickens me. It sickens this whole community.
So much so that other videos of similar interactions went viral and have started new conversations in the era of coronavirus. New arrest data stemming from social distancing enforcement in Brooklyn shows 39 out of 40 are black or brown people. Citywide, they account for 92% of all those arrested, according to I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
All right, Anthony, thank you.
All right. Hopefully you actually heard that. Hopefully. And it didn't just crap out.
I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
All right, Anthony, thank you.
Oh man. All right. So I'm guessing you probably didn't hear it. Let's try that one more time. All right. So. All right.
Police and the public on the Lower East Side became a flashpoint in the new era of social distancing enforcement.
The way they tossed my son in the street, broke ribs, stood on his head like as though he was nothing. It just sickens me. It sickens this whole community.
So much so that other videos of similar interactions went viral and have started new conversations in the era of coronavirus. New arrest data stemming from social distancing enforcement in Brooklyn shows 39 out of 40 are black or brown people. Citywide, they account for 92% of all those arrested, according to the Public Advocate's Office. Thursday night, dozens of protesters and community activists formed a caravan that drove past police precincts in Brooklyn, where most of the arrests have originated.
These officers, these thugs, because that's what they were, and that's what they are. Is they acted like thugs.
While admitting that the arrest videos are tough to watch, the commander of Brooklyn North Police insists many times there's more to the story.
There were 9/11 calls for fights, disorderly crowds that the officers had to respond to. And what you saw was the last 10 seconds of a video where officers had to take action, and it looks terrible.
The mayor shot back against any comparison to stop and frisk.
This is the farthest thing from that. This is addressing a pandemic. They're addressing the fact that lives are in danger all the time.
Later Thursday night, he went further, tweeting, "The disparity in the numbers do not reflect our values." Since the beginning of the pandemic, 120 people have been arrested citywide. 500 have been summoned for social distancing offenses. The public advocate now releasing a statement saying that the city stalled on releasing this data, and now we know why. That's the latest live here in downtown Brooklyn. I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
All right, Anthony, thank you.
As the economy reopens, your workplace may never return.
All right. So there you go. Now dealing with this, it's like, come on, people. Like, we're still dealing with shit like this. Why are we still dealing with shit like this? Data shows 68% of arrests for social distancing violations were of black New Yorkers, 24% Hispanic, and 7% white. It's all like the stop and frisk shit again, even though de Blasio and that asshole fat fuck from the goddamn Brooklyn department was like, oh, it's not like stop and frisk. It's not like any. It's the same tactics. It's the same shit. Your hard targets are black and whatever you consider Hispanic. The soft targets are white and Asian. Don't mean the white and Asians don't commit any kind of fucking crime, because they very well do, especially during the stop and frisk era where they stopped the black and Hispanic population twice over. So you take the amount of black people and whoever call themselves Hispanic in the city, right? Take that number and double it. That's how many times they were stopped. So you had the same people getting stopped 2 and 3 times a week, if not more. The same people, still with no contraband on them. They stopped 6%. 6% of white New York City residents, and they accounted for like 80+% of the fucking contraband. But then you get the recordings from ex-police officers, usually like the black and Spanish ones, every now and then 1 or 2 white guys. But it's usually the black and Hispanic police officers that just get tired of doing the fucking job because they realize they're not making an actual difference, because the minute you try and take a difference, they want to Serpico your ass. And if you don't know who Serpico is, then just look them up. But yeah, they get these recordings, and I believe it was a black dude with like dreadlocks who was a police officer, had the recording and was like, look, we were told. And you can hear on the video, just look it up on Google. I'm not digging all through that shit right now. Look it up on Google. You can hear the sergeant or supervisor, whoever, saying, target these people. Don't target these people. Remember the whole subway shit when all of a sudden New York City needed all these police officers in the subway? Who got beat up for a simple turnstile jump? Because honestly, I don't blame motherfuckers for jumping the turnstile. I don't care if old people were sliding underneath that motherfucker in their jazzies. The fare in New York City is ridiculous. The MTA always cries fucking broke. They make millions of dollars a year. The fucking George Washington Bridge done paid for itself. The GW done paid for itself 20 times over. And yet they still keep raising the price. they still keep raising the price. And that's an everybody issue. That ain't just a black issue. That ain't just a Hispanic issue. That ain't just an Asian, a white, whoever. That's an everybody issue in New York City. So I don't blame anybody for jumping the fucking turnstiles in the greedy ass fucking mass transit monopoly system in New York that they have now. Right? I don't blame that shit. But again, who was the first fucking person get beat over a measly turnstile jump? Black kid. A black kid. Come on. Now, just like I said earlier in the stream, 2% of black people went anywhere, and set up shop and built and got broke off a piece of land and was able to build their own fucking nation on that little piece of land they was broken off of, right? Got no pushback. They just had to go through the usual trade and the political agreements and all that kind of shit. You think you be dealing with this? You think you'd have 68% of arrests for social distancing violations be black people? No, you control everything from top to fucking bottom, but yet for some reason we love staying here with as you know, a good man named Mark Gooney or Mr. Holipsism goes like, black people love the Joker Batman relationship. You know, the Joker can't get rid of Batman really, because without Batman shit ain't fun, and Batman need the Joker because he needs to justify his fucking existence. Because Scarecrow and the fucking Penguin, I guess, ain't that hip. So you need to keep the Joker around. It's a horrible fucking relationship we have in this country. And we just refuse on any decent scale to go, you know what? We need to go with battered fucking wives. And I'll mention again, you know, on the scale, you got white guys, white women, any whatever minority other than you, pets, than you. I'm not even bringing in the whole gender shit, sexuality, he, she, them, they thing. I'm not even counting that, because that'll even go even further. Because a lot of motherfuckers think, oh shit, I'm gay, they ain't gonna fuck with you. Nah, you got a lot of racists in the fucking gay LGBT alphabet plus Super Tuesday community. Like, you got a lot of them motherfuckers there. You think because Kathy, Miss Kathy over there is a fucking is a lesbo, she ain't gonna like go, oh shit, look at that nigger. Like, no, like, just because they eat carpet, they bag carpets and smoke poles, don't mean they stop fucking practicing racism. Like, I don't know. Some people just, they get me with that shit too. Hollop, I have no clue who the fuck is who's in Josh. That dude just jumped on. I don't know. He might have been looking through YouTube shit and just saw my video live and saw a black dude in the thumbnail. Because, you know, his first question is this another Hate Whitey stream? That was his first question. It wasn't, hey, how you doing? Peace, nothing. It was a, hey, you know, is this Hate Whitey? So then you can see his dumb shit about, you know, what about the refugees in Europe? I had to tell him, like, this wasn't the stream for that. Like, you know, I have no comments on the refugees in Europe and shit, because I was making analogies and comparisons to white Cubans fleeing over to America while the black Cubans were still in Cuba, getting, you know, not being shit on after the whole Batista regime exploded from Castro and Che Guevara. But yeah, I don't know who the fuck. that dude is gone. He that Josh ain't here no more. Like, I saw the viewer number drop and was like, all right, he gone. So yeah, that dude is a clown. And maybe even if he watching in private or through somebody's window right now, hopefully he fucking sees that. That dude is an idiot. That dude is an idiot. But you know, they can't get over themselves, because if we're talking about them, if we're not talking about them, there's an issue. Because then it's like, then they go, well, what about everybody, right? Meaning, what about us? What about me, my feelings? Then when you're talking about it, it's, oh my God, how dare you? So either way, you can't really win. That's not a winning match with these people, I found out. Also, if you want to jump on, let me know. To see how I can send a link. But if you want to jump on, oh, there we go. Yeah, let me know if you want to jump. But yeah, peace to brother Holipsism here. So if you guys are watching, You know, Future, like right now or later, he's a very good brother there. He's pretty much the one that also inspired me after going through the waves and waves of the quote unquote conscious apartment of consciousness and that conscious community. Like I already started at level 0, the trash scraping level, you know, the level where you getting information, then you gotta sift through the people who's actually real. Then you finally find people like, oh shit, this guy's actually, you know, he's not a fucking grifter. He's not standing out on the corner for umpteen fucking years selling the same rehashed DVDs over and over. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, like, and back to the New York City shit. Like, so while people are still left in New York City being gentrified out of their own fucking neighborhoods or urban renewal, or you have black people, oh well, we got to get out of the quote unquote ghetto, right? You get you get that you get arrested over and over and broken windows policed over. No matter how good you do, what do you do, that shit happens, right? So then you also got the people with the, oh well, the black business, you just got to start a black business and all your things, everything will be fine, right? Or you just start a black business. Oh well, even that doesn't always work. And here you go. I'm going to share something else. There we go. Boom. Here we go. Black-owned firms are twice as likely to be rejected for loans. Now, okay, I'm always going to keep going back to the 2% of us anywhere else in the world building something, right? Do you think if you had control of everything, your own banks, like your own banks at least, that you would have to worry about less than 40% of financing applications filed by African American business owners getting approved? No, you wouldn't have to worry about discrimination, which also leads to doubt. So even people with good credit gonna go, well, I probably shouldn't even bother because then I'm gonna get denied anyway. Then the people with good and or bad credit apply, and then less than 40%, 47% of them even get the loans, let alone fully funded. So we'll go through it, right? According to data recently made available, even though we've always known this has not been, it hasn't been in the shadows. Wasn't nobody holding it hostage anywhere with a gun to his head, talking about you better not come out. We've known this for fucking ever. All right. According to data recently made available from the U.S. Federal Reserve, more than half of companies that have black owners were turned down for loans, a rate twice as high as business owners. The report found that while black-owned firms were the most likely to have applied for bank financing, less than 47% of these applicants were fully funded. Even when black business owners get approved, their rate of failure to receive full financing is the highest among all categories, by more than 10%. The bad news doesn't end there, because it never fucking does here. The report also found that black-owned firms were the most likely group to have applied for a credit card and experienced the highest turn-down rate. For those that applied for bank financing, a smaller share of black-owned and Hispanic-owned businesses received loans of $100,000 or more as compared to other ethnic groups. Is this discrimination? Is it? Pretty sure you know the answer to that. All right, I'll send the link. Holla, copy clipboard, right? So give me one moment. Let's see, all right, I sent the link, holipsism@gmail.com. Hopefully it should be right. If not, let me know and I'll send it again. All right. So is this discrimination? You know it's discrimination. Absolutely. Everybody knows. Even the people that want to deny it know it. Galen, all right. So Galen, absolutely. Galen Gandolfi. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. A senior loan counselor at a not-for-profit that helps small business owners build credit, recently told NPR St. Louis Public Radio. St. Louis seemingly provincial. I'm sorry. Words. Lending struggles not only with entrepreneurs that don't historically look like them, but also the types of businesses that are unique to these populations. But discrimination isn't the only reason. So now you only have discrimination, we get something else. There are other factors that give bankers pause when considering a loan to black business owners. Del Gines, a senior community development advisor with the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, believes that the lack of integration of wealth and insufficient knowledge about the banking system are also significant obstacles, which we don't have a lot of financial. We don't have a lot of financial literacy among us. That's one thing we also have to fucking fix. Yeah, did you get the link? Let me know if you got the link or not, or just shoot me like I guess a Facebook message if you got the link or not. But yeah, financial literacy rates are severely lacking, which we can fix. Like, okay, so Boyce Watkins, for example, I know I'm not even gonna get into the history of the dude and all that. So yes, you don't always have to pay for everything, right? You can go to the library, but honestly, with a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, you charge for information," motherfucker. I know he's charging a little bit, but how many of you actually gonna go to the library? Not many of us, honestly. How many? Maybe you have a library card. When was the last time you used it for financial literacy? Not much. Not mostly any time. Also, honestly, if you can congratulate anybody for paying for college, right? Then why not congratulate them for graduating from financial literacy course hosted by another black person? Come on. So financial literacy, Boyce Watkins is actually giving that out. I can at least commend him for that. Beside all the other fucking drama, at least that you can commend. I can commend him on. So also, it's like when we have family members that pass away and leave us a little bit of money. A lot of us, you can't say no, but a lot of us start just flushing that money down the fucking drain. A lot. All right, so back to the article, right? Senior community developer advisor with the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City believes that the lack of intergenerational wealth and insufficient knowledge about the banking system are also significant obstacles. Let's say hypothetically, there's no discrimination in the banking system. We would still probably have desperate outcomes because the system itself hasn't prepared us to utilize the banking system effectively, said Gins, who is black. Then when you layer on the levels of discrimination that research has showed, when you combine those two, that's why you see these kinds of desperate outcomes. Confidence or the lack of is playing a role too. The Federal Reserve report found that 1 in 4 black-owned firms reported foregoing applying for credit, with 56% of these firms stating that they did not want to accrue debt, and 60% indicating that they felt like they would be turned down if they applied. So now you get it twofold. So you're in the system, all right, you made the step of trying to control your own shit. You got tired of clocking in and out, making somebody else rich, no matter who that other person is. So you got your little game together, you got a business, you want to get off the ground. Or you already had a business, but you need some money for some new equipment. Say a lot of black people like open restaurants, right? So say a stove broke. Oh, Salima. Sorry, I just clicked over the screen and just saw you there. How you doing, Salima? Oh, she probably can't hear me. Oh, you good? Okay, you can hear me. Thank God. Oh, so what's your input with all this, like, with the land infrastructure nationhood and with everything we're going through in this country?
Minister, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that I was live.
It's all right.
Like, is he talking to me? Everything right now is just crazy. That's what I'm gonna like. Everything is like insane. But we have to really get on the ball and move with getting our resources together. and we need a plan like ASAP. Um, 10 years ago, land infrastructure and nationhood, it was, a novel idea. People thought it was cute. No, we actually need that like yesterday. It's and because of my background, I have a different perspective on it. I'm not like afraid of it. My family, we talk about it all the time. It's not like we're, in a panic. We just know that this is something that we need to jump on like ASAP. So that's what we're in the process of doing. Building up our businesses, trying to establish some business contacts outside of this country. And just making sure that we are able to move when we need to move. And I think that that's where everybody should be at this point. Yeah, it's like go time. This really getting serious. We are, as you can see, within the last 2 or 3 months, they have been murdering us at will. I mean, it's not like it wasn't happening previously, but they are just doing it for some reason. It's like this surge of, just outright blatant murder, and we've been talking about it as if it's normal,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, their reactions, they've become the police shootings that were happening in previous years have now numbed us to what's really happening right now, because it was police doing it. Now there are everyday people on the street doing it. This man and his son who just murdered that young man, they're actually in the Klan. They were actually at a Klan rally days before this happened. So it's where we have now gone back to 60, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, when the Klan would just come out and wipe out Black neighborhoods. That's what we're building up to. And if we don't see that, we have a bigger issue. We are still under the impression, one, that we're safe, two, that this country and their laws are for us, and three, that we have time. We really are under the impression that, things are just like we are regular American citizens, and we're not. We are absolutely not. They've shown that to us time and time again. We are actually less than 3/4 of a person, 3/5 of a person. We are less than that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Every time I see a video, or the commercials for the ASPCA, and how they empathize and sympathize, and they love animals to the point where they're crying and they're, oh my gosh, how could you do that to a helpless puppy? But then that same person will say, well, what did that nigga do to get shot? They don't care. They don't value our life the way that they value an animal.
You are correct about that. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, the list goes white man, white woman, any other minority that isn't Black, pets, then us.
No. Pets come way before any minority.
Yeah, okay. White woman, white man, white woman, pets, other minorities, then Black people.
Right. That's exactly how we go.
Yeah, I can see it because
No,
Harambe is still a thing.
It's white man, white woman, pets, their car, their property, their business, their children, pets, other
Yeah.
minorities, and Black people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's because some people really don't. They're not putting these things into perspective. They're not even looking at it on a realistic level. As you know, we literally don't mean anything to them.
Which is very true. Hello, Rhonda. Hopefully I'm saying it right. You like to add anything?
No, I haven't heard anything as yet, so
Okay.
I'll just listen for a while. I'm actually working at the moment, so I probably can't contribute too much.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining in.
That's all right. I just listen.
Okay. But yeah, like for some reason we still hold this country like we owe it something. Like I don't know how many times I've like told people like fuck this place. Black people don't owe America anything. Indeed, America owes us. Will we get it? Most likely not. Morally, we owed, but in reality, we're probably not gonna get anything. And for some reason, then we have the ADOS and FBA people screaming about stuff, and it's like, come on, you're not getting anything. Like you can beg white people all you want. You can wrap yourself an American flag all you want. Like white people didn't even want to give other white people more than $1,200 to live during this pandemic. So Negroes definitely ain't getting anything other than the shit end of the stick. And now all over the country, New York is just on the spotlight where black people are getting arrested and beaten shit for not social distancing. But then you got a bunch of fucking spoiled milk going up in the state buildings with guns, screaming and spitting in police officers' faces and threatening politicians, threatening their lives, and nothing happened.
I'm talking about in New York, sitting down in the parks. Like there is not like a worldwide health pandemic happening. They are beating up black people, and then in Brooklyn and the Bronx, but in Manhattan, they are out sitting in the park like it's a regular day.
Oh yeah,
and they are actual. Because my family's from New York, and we watch here in Charlotte. Spectrum shows New York One TV.
Okay.
I don't know what that's about. We've always been able to get it here. And we watch the news from New York here in Charlotte. And they were giving out masks to the people. Like, okay, you're not going to social distance, but can you be,
safe
can you
about
at least put this mask on?
it?
You need some hand sanitizer. Like, this is the stark differences in how they interact with us and how they interact with white people. It's so drastic. It's so, black and white. Like you either there's no in between. There's no gray area, and it's not a hidden thing anymore. They don't hide it anymore. It's completely out in the open.
Yep.
I don't like you, nigga. I'm never gonna like you. I'm tired of hiding the fact that I don't like you, and you're gonna deal with it. And that's what they saying right now. And
Pretty
black
much.
people still don't get it. They still sitting there like, they love us. Let me go on ahead and marry their son and their daughter.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't. Is 400 plus years of going through the same shit. And then if we suggest, hey, maybe we move over somewhere else, because you can't say Africa right away, because I find a lot of black people, they just have a visceral reaction if you mention the continent. Oh my God, they don't like us. Oh God, how do you say Africa? Like, come on, like get over that shit. Like, it's billions of people on the continent. Not billions of people can just dislike you. Like that's
this is the thing with that. So you are saying that the people who look like you, who you've never met, you've never had an opportunity to interact with them on a personal level, you only get your information from your open enemy about them, and you trust that, one, and two, you are very unhappy with the way that you're treated here because you're even thinking about going somewhere else. So you don't want to be here, but you don't want to go over there where you it's possible you might receive the same treatment that you had here, but you know what you're going to get here.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely know what you're going to get here. So at what point is it, I don't want to do this anymore? You know what? Yeah, they may not like me, but two of them might like me. The billions of people, two of them might like me.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Because none of the white people here like you. None of them. Even the ones that have kids by us openly say they don't like black. The white women who have kids by black men openly say they don't like black women. They hate black women. They are better than black women. And they call their kids niggers.
Yep. Very true.
So you would rather stay here and be certain what you're going to get than go somewhere else and you might have a better life? It's possible.
The world's a big place, but a lot of niggas don't want to explore it. Because after a while, it's like even if, like earlier I mentioned, say 2% of us went to like Guatemala, right? It just hypothetically, 2% of us went to Guatemala. We were able to, first maybe start out integrate, learn the system, and like maybe a couple decades down the road, we get a piece of land there. And they go, here you go. And then all of a sudden, all we have to do is build on it. Maybe we have an infrastructure trade agreement and other kind of trade agreements, but we have our own thing. So we get to build on it, and then we can call that place, home. And here it could be a satellite community. Like we can build a black town, African American town in Guatemala and be just fine, controlling everything. So you don't have to worry about the police busting your heads up. You don't have to worry about the banks denying your loan, even with your credit score, your FICO score of like 750 plus. You don't have to worry about that. But then when you mention that, all of a sudden people go, well, I don't know anything else but here. But well, you running away? What do you mean running away? You're not even doing anything here to fight what you're against. And you telling me, oh, about running away? Like, come on. Like marching down the street with hands up, don't shoot, isn't stopping you from being shot.
Like, because they still shooting us. Even though y'all did all of that, they still shooting us. And this is another thing. First of all, black people in America, we don't trust one another. Y'all go and blindly, whatever this country, this government, the police, Karen and Chip tell y'all to do, y'all just do it. Okay? Y'all just go ahead and y'all do it. No questions asked, knowing that they've been treating us bad for 500 years.
Yep.
And saying bad is like an understatement, but I'm being real simplistic right now. But then when I say there's a group of people who went to the United Nations 25 years ago and said, black people in the diaspora, we want to be. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was Queen Esther.
Oh, okay. We want to be recognized because I'm gonna give you a little bit of history. When they went to the United Nations, the first thing that the people at the United Nations said was, "Where have y'all been?" Black people, former slaves, descendants of slaves, were never legally recognized as a people in the United Nations.
Nope.
Until 25 years ago. Because in order for us to be recognized as a people legally in the world, somebody had to come there as for a representation of us and say, I am these people. And nobody had ever done it. And the first question they asked is, what took y'all so long?
Which is true.
So at this point, now we can move forward and say, what do y'all want? What do y'all want to do? And do you know what the United States government did? They shut down the group that was in place, the committee that was in place to work on civil rights, human rights. They were going to different, quote unquote black countries and assisting them with getting their civil rights, human rights. Because at that point we forget civil rights. We didn't have human rights because we weren't recognized as a people. Now let's think about that. I said the diaspora. Every ex-slave and descendant of ex-slave from the transatlantic slave debacle, worst crime against humanity, were not recognized from the inception of the UN.
Which is true. Also, the UN is America's lapdog anyway. So.
It is, but so what they did, what the United States did, was they shut that committee down in the middle of our talks, in the middle of us trying to work on giving ourselves a name, giving ourselves an identity. They shut that committee down and they left Geneva, Switzerland.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Okay, so that's the people that we dealing with.
Kind of went out, Salima. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My was talking to me.
All right.
You know, so we got to look at it on, and we tend to look at everything on, you know, this tiny, minute scale when it's so much bigger than us. It's so much bigger than what we are, our own personal bubble, you know. And the way that I was raised and the way that my sisters and I were taught, we were taught to think on that bigger scale. So we tend to think we are almost forced to look at things in a way where it's just like, okay, that's not how that's going to work out, you know. So we have to know that this is a 911 situation. It's an emergency, and we have to move.
Oh yeah,
that's where we at. We looking at everything that happened, and I'm not sure. I mean, anybody who has any a little bit of religious background, a little bit of religious knowledge, right now we in a crazy time. We are in a crazy time, you know, and we got to pay attention. You know, we have to we got to get it together. I remember we did a show a couple of years back, and there was a sister on the show, and she was saying how she didn't believe in land infrastructure and nationhood because she couldn't see it. She couldn't see the end game. And I told the sister, if that's the way that you feel, you don't think that this is something that we should do. I said, don't go back to work. Don't go back to work. You and your children, whatever you got in your bank account, you go fill your house with food and drinks. And you and your children go in the house, and however long that food and drink lasts, y'all just lock yourselves in the house and stay there. And that's it. That's it. There's nothing else. Because, and the reason that our children are the way that they are right now is because they don't see a future. They don't see a future. They don't see anything past when I go outside, just minding my own business, going to school, going to work, going to visit my grandmother, jogging. I could be murdered, and nobody is going to pay for it. And the first question is going to be, what was that person doing? Because the question that they asked was, why was he attacking them? They had guns.
Yep.
He was going to fight until he knew he was going to die. So he was going to fight. I'm not just going to stand there and let you shoot me. I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you until my last breath. Because that was a man. And he wasn't going to just go out and he wasn't going to get on his knees and beg them not to shoot him. He wasn't doing that. So we got to make sure that we let our future know that they have a future. because they don't see a future.
Definitely.
That's our that's gonna be our legacy, and we have to do it. There's no If we don't do it, nobody else is gonna do it, and we might as well just, like I said, everybody just I might as well just take my stuff from work back to the office tomorrow and be like, yeah, I quit, and come in the house and chill until the food run out, till the water run out. That's our only options.
Yeah, pretty much. Hello, Dario. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm all right. Just felt like I had to just do a quick stream because this thing was just frustrating me with the whole, Ahmed case, and it's just yet another instance in a long line of instances. Every year we have like 2 or 3 of these things, and people are still acting surprised. And oh God, how could they do this? It's like they've been doing this. Why are you surprised?
I understand. I'm sorry. I received this link from Hollis, and
Yeah, I think he sent it to everybody.
I knew what was going on. I just clicked it. I said, "Okay, I'm here." um, you know, and I don't necessarily know what the topic has been per se, but um, my suggestion to people, and I'm just going to throw this out kind of as a throwaway, and people can do whatever they want to with it. My suggestion to people is that, by and large, when we talk about land infrastructure and nationhood, okay? Can y'all hear me okay? Because sometimes my Bluetooth is wonky.
I can hear you.
Okay. My suggestion to people is that this has to be a grassroots thing. I tell people on a regular basis because we see the landscape that our people, uh, especially here in the U.S., but on a global scale, kind of live under or whatever. And so, to me, the goal should be to build networks of like-minded people and protect those networks,
Mm-hmm.
because the vast majority of the people that we all know essentially are sheep.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you want to call it secret societies or whatever, um, I really, 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 really believe that the talented among us really, and who have an interest um, in land infrastructure nationhood, uh, have to connect with have to connect really secretly, and kind of build this thing up and keep most people out. And when I say most people, I mean most Black people. Uh, if for no other reason, because our people are so so many people looking are doing identity politics, and
Yeah.
everybody's looking for a savior. Everybody's looking for a personality to follow. But when you get amongst people who are talented themselves, who have ideas themselves, who have a drive to produce, create, and everything themselves, you tend to be able to move forward in a faster lane. Our main problem is not necessarily unity, um, because we haven't given we haven't given our people anything to unify behind. It's kind of like, I don't know how much you guys follow sports, right? But it's kind of like the NFL Players Association. Uh, During this last collective bargaining agreement, the main issue that they face is that the owners had the spin and publicity on their side. Uh, when working in our groups, building our network, it should be our goal to propagandize our people, to give them something to get behind, to give them a sense of nationalism to get behind, to influence them, because if for no other reason, that's what works. And this 9/11, and the pandemic, 9/11, all this other stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
always keywords and buzzwords that they get people saying and getting behind. First responders, uh, the frontline workers, the essential people. In every commercial, you hear people talk about this new reality, and they take that and they use that. I know I'm here in Dallas, and here in Dallas, they just had the Blue Angel flyover for all the frontline medical workers or whatever that's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I really believe that in the mindset of land infrastructure nationhood, the thing that is going to be pivotal is finding something, is creating something for our people to get behind. And that's just kind of and for the talented among us, reaching across and the artists joining with the business people, joining with the tech people, joining with the whatever to create various businesses, uh, cutting into different industries to create a class of people who have a revenue stream in order to be able to support the things that we really want to be able to do. And that's just kind of my thinking on it.
I feel you. But like you said, those of us who are like minded got to connect, and unfortunately have to keep a good chunk of our own people out, because if you let too many in, then you get the whole COINTELPRO situation, people trying to make a name for themselves. Then the main purpose of the unity gets lost in somebody else's pockets or brand.
Right. And so yeah. So I mean, it's kind of a thing like that. And I, again, I'm probably talking out of school right about now, because I just showed up. But yeah, in that vein, the one thing, and the people I network with, one thing we talk about is building industries where we can uh, sell to everybody, but do business with us as much as possible. So that's really
Yeah, like
and
the Koreans got.
yeah, and so I tend now, after my experience, because I guess I was invited because I created Black Spot and Black Spot TV, which is now Black Place, whatever. Uh, I've kind of shifted focus in my business dealings and the people I deal with to where we create products and platforms where we can, sell to everybody. But then at the heart of our development team, business team, and everything like that, it's us, And to me, that's just the absolute best way to go. My wife is in she's in the freak business, and she also does online classes. We create things where we can sell to everybody, but when we start talking about her team and the people that she works with to do when we could do live shows like that or whatever, we deal with us. And so to me, that's really the best possible course, because what you want in all these, I'm no Christian, but the Bible says money answers all things. You want to put together a marketing campaign to get something in the minds of people. You have to hire a marketing firm, people who understand how to create a message, craft a message, and push that message. You want to do an ad on Facebook that's going to get eyes on it from our people and get them behind or to follow us to study. Then you don't need a marketing company. You need buildings, you need service, you need all these other things. And those things, and believe me, GoFundMe is not a great way to go. That's panhandling is first century or whatever. But it's a way to come past that. But we just have to change our focus. And I'll say it again. I think that when you build that network of equals, people who may have a different specialty or whatever, but who understand where it is that you're doing, you pull yourself away internally away from the identity politics and are able to really get some real work done.
Definitely. Maybe sometime in the next, 50 years, when supposedly all the white people will vanish out of America and Al Sharpton is king and Roland Martin is his jester or whatever, black people go, oh, well, it's too many of us. Maybe you got to move now. For some reason, we still love moving in the white neighborhoods, thinking we're going to get away from anything, which I suspect what's happened with Ahmaud's family, where they probably moved out of a predominantly black neighborhood, the quote unquote ghetto, moved into a predominantly white neighborhood thinking they were doing better. And one day he jogs down the street, minding his own business, and gets hunted down like it was like the 1800s again.
Yeah, that will happen. But I mean, but then we can put that off on him or whatever. But then at the same time, um, we as a people have to become more interested in our own safety and security. And
Definitely.
but then again, and especially and again with the new Black Panthers, what's the name of the other organization? Is it AFRO, the African American the Gun Owners Association or
Oh,
whatever?
NAGA is National African American Gun Association.
Yeah, that, and I think there's another one called AFRO also.
Oh, okay.
If these revenue in order to be able to create mailing lists, send out mailing lists, do different commercials or whatever. Again, the only thing we essentially talking about is Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics.
Yeah.
And so, if who has a question about what needs to be done or how it needs to be done, read Powernomics if you have it. And it's a blueprint for what needs to happen. So there's no new information out there. There's no new instruction out there. Since Reconstruction, everybody from Ida B. Wells, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Claude Anderson, so many people have told us exactly what it is we need to do. That the information is there. It's just the execution that it's been lacking.
Which is true. We have the information for I don't know how many decades now, and some of us get it, and the other ones are still online for Jordans. Hello, Queen Esther. How you doing tonight?
Hey, peace. How you doing?
I'm all right. Just decided to do a stream just to get some stuff off my chest because this whole thing is just frustrating the hell out of me.
Well, you doing great. Hi, Salima.
Let me see if my mic is connected. I've been trying to.
She probably got bumped off again.
Let's see.
Esther.
There we go.
Hey, girl.
How you doing, Mama?
What's up, Queen?
Just wait till I get back to New York. We definitely have to get up. It's been way too long.
I know. You got to give me a call when you can. But I need to say this, though. I have to get this off my chest. Will somebody please tell me what happened to the Israelites and why they not out there bitching? I just want to know. I just want to know because they've been out there full force before this virus started. All of a sudden now you don't see not one.
What you mean? They ain't that untouchable.
They not out there.
They ain't untouchable. They said,
they not saying that one thing. They was full force, wanted to march, wanted to protest, wanted to do all this black on black stuff. And they've just been quiet.
I think it's 2020 is probably the year they get the new Wonder Woman outfits and the bracelets in, so we're not gonna see them until 2021.
No.
Oh, that's what it is? Oh, they mad because they can't get in the strip clubs no more? I'm sorry. But I need to say this also. We definitely gonna have to be very, very careful because I don't know if this happening across the board, but in New York City, they definitely said that before either at the end of June or going into July, they're going to lift up what they so-called said, the governor said they're going to try to lift off the fee for the rent. I don't know how that's going to happen. Plus, on top of that, they're going to do another between 2 and 5% raise on the rent.
Wow.
And then
man.
Yes. In August, either end of July going into August, they're going to raise the rent again. And then on top of that, he also stated, the governor stated, if people don't start paying up on their rent, they might be evicted by August. So they're giving them this 90 days at the end of August. That's it.
Wow.
So Andrew Cuomo, you talk about New York, right?
Yeah.
So Andrew Cuomo, the same guy that was cutting Medicaid in the middle of the pandemic, which is why thousands of hospital beds are gone from New York in general, wants to now raise rent.
Between 2 and 5%.
For what? For what purpose?
Who do you think's paying for that stimulus money?
Well, we're paying for it, But that,
I
like,
mean, listen, you got to understand these guys. First of all, they grew up with Trump. They grew up in the same area that like their parents hung out together. Okay. So when Cuomo say I was on the phone with the president, he was really on the phone with the president. They was really talking about helping nobody. They was just shooting the shit.
Exactly.
yeah.
So they played that little tit for tat thing, you know. Oh, stop trying to, you know, do what
It's
I
a
do in
show.
my state. It's a show. It's a show. I mean, Donald Trump is a reality show person. That's what he do. This is all a game to them. This is a game to them. And while we doing and people was hooting and hollering about that stimulus money, he's still cutting taxes for the rich people.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's showing you too the mentality of these coons out here that we have is generating. Because they couldn't wait to get that stimulus check. And I heard them. They even posted it on Facebook. Oh, honey, I can't wait. And some guys talk about, yeah, I can do what I want to do with this stimulus check, and I want to vote for Trump again. You fucking morons.
Absolutely.
It's I don't know what to say anymore. It's so sad, man. And then on top of that, it's bad enough is no jobs. No jobs. Then the homeless they don't have no place for the homeless. They stand in our own subway stations, in our own subway cars. They had portable toilets on the subway cars. I mean, how crazy is this? They shut down the subways between 11 and 5, I think 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning to clean it out. Okay? This is how bad it was. People was taking pictures and videos of these homeless people living in our subway cars. So, I mean, if it's like that and these people don't have no jobs and no money, you know it's going to take between 3 and 5, maybe 5 or 6 years for our finance in United States to build up again.
Yep.
All right? People is not realizing that at all. It's going to take some time. So you mean to tell me you're going to go up on my rent? I don't have no place to go as far as my job, you know, and then on top of that, my kids don't have no school to go to. They have to be homeschooled. And how am I supposed to live? How am I supposed to survive? I'm going to be homeless soon. So that's another problem on top of another problem. So while that's carrying on and building, that's going to accumulate a war within our own backyard. We're going to have people who's actually working, whoever still have a job who's working. They have to be very careful of them going to work, because they're either going to get killed or mugged.
Yep.
And the people who's out there trying to get whatever they can get as far as groceries or something to survive in their own daily life, they have to go out there very early to get their stuff so they won't get killed or mugged as well. It's going to be very bad for us.
It's going to be back like the
Oh, she got disconnected.
She gone. We're living on borrowed times, man. We are living on some serious This is so bad that I don't think this new generation realized what's actually going on, and they don't care. They really don't care.
Oh no, they don't. They're more concerned about, like, you know, the next Kardashian or other reality show or sneakers or the next rapper coming out.
They don't care.
You know, you said sneakers. You mean to tell me these people got their stimulus check?
Yeah.
And Jordan dropped sneaker. What the? Who?
Yeah.
Why would y'all go get this sneaker? You don't know if you're going to have a job next month to live. You didn't hold on to that $1,200. You went and bought a Jordan.
Wait, did you see? Wait a minute, sis. Did you see the lady was flashing her stimulus check in the car, and the guy
jumped
his head in there and snatched stuff? Yeah. I died laughing. And she had to jump out the car and ran. I don't think she got the money, though. They said the guy kept going. He jumped into another car.
She got what
Hey,
she deserved.
that's a dumb chick, though.
Yeah, she had that
I'm
coming.
just like, when I saw that those people was online waiting for them Jordans, I said, you gotta be kidding me. My people.
She really did
So
that?
mentally damaged. So mentally damaged.
That's sad.
I'm talking about people with actual wealth, with money.
That's
People
sad.
that people that have generational wealth, or people that just have a lot of money. You never see them with flashy clothes on. Because we never had anything. We coming up out of slavery. We want everything now.
Yeah, we grabbing for
And
everything. Yeah.
it's sad. It's so sad.
But that's making us look bad across the board.
Absolutely.
It's like we don't have no education, no morals, no self-worth.
Yep. And that's the stuff that we got to work on. That's the things that we have to work on, because going into building our own nation, we can't bring these filthy, dirty habits that we have with us. We can't do that. It's not going to work. And I kid you not, you're going to be put out. Like, it's going to, you're one infraction, one and done. You got to go. And that's how we got to be. You can work your way back in, but you got to go now.
Let me tell you, you know how bad it is. It's so bad that they had this lady on Instagram that I cracked up so bad it was terrible. Somebody made a mistake and gave her $900 on her EB card. I think that's what you call it.
Yeah, EBT.
EBT.
Yeah. They gave her $900 on her EBT, and that girl was flashing, calling everybody that she can. I mean, that was the worst ghetto thing I have ever seen in my life. Talking about, we going to eat, y'all. We going to get some seafood and some shrimp and some, what's that, lobster? Yeah, we going to get some lobster.
Man.
And she was naming every food she can buy with that $900. She said, girl, I'm rich. I said, holy shit.
Wow.
But that's what happens when you don't have anything. So you get something like that, which is gone in like a day. It could be gone in a day, or like 2 bills. And people get it, and all of a sudden they think they're rich and they pop in. So for some reason, black people always go to like Red Lobster. I don't understand why, but that's the first place they go to.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
That was fine dining back in the day. What you mean?
What you said, that he said it's the biscuit.
It used to be right. That was fine dining back in the day.
Oh,
I remember. I remember the first time I went to Red Lobster. I was an adult the first time I went, and I was like, "What the heck? Is this what y'all be acting crazy about?"
Oh no!
Because my parents, we didn't do all the foolishness. We really didn't. I didn't go to BBQs. The first time I went to BBQs, I believe I might have been like 17 or 18 years old.
Oh man, BBQs.
Shoot.
Yeah, I didn't. Right, we didn't do any of that. So it was just like, and as an adult, I just didn't see the value in it. So that stuff like that, it don't sway me. But I kid you not, the people were, people. We gotta do better. We gotta do better.
But you know what? It depends on how you was brought up, man. Because thank God for moms. You know what I'm saying? My mother, she taught me at the age of 5 of certain genres of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you get older, you be like, I appreciate that. Because that puts you in a different class of people that you can deal with.
My mother made us do. I typed up my first resume when I was 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew how to do chores. I put my chores as my work history, and I knew what a resume was when I was that young, and in order for us to get our allowance, we had to do certain things around the house. We had to, they gave us a real sense of the importance of money, and you're not just going to get it because you my child,
Right.
So when we did get allowance, because, my other cousins and stuff like that, they wasn't getting allowance. And then, you know, they would come over because we lived in Coney Island. They would come to Coney Island and we, you know, they thought we lived somewhere spectacular.
Wow.
It was just Coney Island. And we would talk to them about the things that we would do. And they would go back and talk to their parents, like, why we don't get allowance? Like, you know, my parents have the most kids. So how are they able to get allowance and we can't get allowance? And you know, so it was stuff like that. And I remember my aunts talking to my mom like, stop giving them so much. She was like, but they earned it, you know. They did what we told them to do. We knew on Saturday morning we had to get up and do the laundry. Point blank, there was no, you not going. I'm sleeping. As soon as I heard my mother turn music on Saturday morning, I knew it was time to get up. And we would go.
That's
We would do
right.
laundry.
That's so
and then
true.
we had to come upstairs and we had to clean do our chores, make sure the kitchen was clean, make sure that we had things that we had to do. And then Sunday she would give it, her and my father, they would give us our allowance. So coming into that week, we had money to do the things that we wanted to do, but it gave us such a respect for the things that we had, you know. And we are still that way. I'll just turn 44 years old, and I still remember those, you know, those rules and those regulations and the way that they showed so much. I remember my father said, "You think that we hard on you? If we didn't care, we let you do whatever you want."
But those are called old-fashioned values.
Yes,
Some
ma'am.
of these people don't want to teach their kids today.
Yes. Somebody
they don't know
told me being rough on the reason that our parents were rough on us, that's from slavery. No. See, they try and flip everything. You don't want to take responsibility for rearing these children properly. You know, no, we got to make sure that they're doing what they got to do. We have to.
Because like they said, God forbid anything happen to you, you got to learn how to stand on your own. You got to learn how to survive.
Man,
yep.
What I tell you.
You know? And like she said, I remember when I was 5 going into 7 years old, my grandmother didn't see, they from the South. My grandmother didn't play. Every Saturday and Sunday morning, we would have to stay by the stove and learn how to cook from scratch.
Yeah.
And they was not playing. And my mother brought me, I remember, my mother brought me a broom and a mop set. And I'm thinking that was playtime and she was teaching me how to clean up. So that's stuff that you learn early, you know? These kids don't know what it is to be kids anymore. They don't know what it is to be raised up like that.
Which is true.
They think old-fashioned values is no good. Oh, I'm not going to teach my kid. I'm going to teach my kid to be independent on his own, to speak on his own. That's why these kids don't have no respect for elders. They don't have no respect for their parents or for themselves. You guys there?
Yeah, I'm here. Just listening.
Oh.
But yeah, like the younger generation can only know what the older generation tells them, and after that, like raising a kid, you can do everything for your child, but sometimes they just go astray and become pieces of shit for no reason, even though they were raised right. And
yeah, but listen, it's crazy how I look at the way, you know, and yeah, my parents raised us a lot different than my cousins were raised. But I look at, you know, I have one cousin who, her and her 2 brothers, they were raised in the same household with the same 2 parents. And all 3 of them turned out completely different. Like absolutely, like the difference is so crazy, but there is a age difference. I think my cousin, he's maybe 4 or 5 years older than my cousin and I. And then my little cousin, I think I was 11 or 12 when he was born. So the age difference is so huge that they have they were raised completely different. Like their parents were on different levels when they were raising them. So it's completely different. So but you got to get those core values. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if you're not giving it to them, they're gonna get what they can get from somewhere else. You hear a lot of gang members say the reason that they in gangs is because they needed a family. If they're not getting what they're supposed to get from the family, they're gonna go outside and get it. Those young girls out there being promiscuous and things like that, they looking for fathers. I mean, seriously, it's really not a big. I mean, a huge. That's basically what it is. They looking for something, and they're not getting it at home.
That's sad.
You know,
that really is sad.
And I'm telling you, we were lucky to be raised with parents who, who loved us. And my father was such an amazing person. He passed away when I was 9 years old. But in that 9 years, he taught me so much. He taught me so much that I still use the things that he taught me today at 44 years old. So his impact was so immense. Like my nieces and nephews, they still talk about the stories that we tell them about him. You know what I mean? So we were very fortunate. I can't, and I just I hope that we are instilling that in our next generation. My nieces and nephews are amazing, but that's what we got to do. We have to and I try and extend that out to people that's not in my immediate family, and we got to realize, I remember growing up in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, and my aunt had every child in Fort Greene. At some point she has done something for them,
Wow.
So I mean, to this day, like, people, I walk around when I go to New York, and they're like, "How is Zeke?" That's the only that they ask me that question every single time I go back to New York, and it was crazy to me, and I felt some type of way as a kid, because I was childish. Why you do all of this for these kids? Like, you could be, I mean, out of her own pocket, she would be buying them shoes. She would, take all the kids to. I remember she used to take us skating at Empire.
Wow.
All of the kids in the neighborhood. Like all of them. And I'd be like, yo, what why? You could have, what you could have did with that money for me, ma'am? But I was a kid.
But that's some old fashioned values though. That's what happens.
It takes a village. That was a village in the middle of a jungle. In the middle of a jungle. I have a friend who she grew up in Fort Greene, and her parents came to me one day. We were grown, and she was so strung out on crack that it was ridiculous. And her parents came to me, and we were just standing in the hallway, and her mother said to me, she was crying. And I'm like, "You okay?" She was like, "Yeah, we just trying to find Dee Dee." And I'm like, "Wow, if I see her, I'll tell her that y'all looking for her." And she said, we told her her entire life that she needed to hang out with you and your sisters. And I didn't get that. I was like, what? So, it was a lot going on that day. And a couple of weeks later, I saw her dad. We used to take the bus together in the morning. And I asked him about it. He said, we just wanted her not to be around these other girls. We knew that y'all was going to make something of yourselves. And we just kept trying to get her to gravitate towards y'all. And I was like, wow. Like, I thought that we were normal. I didn't realize that we were abnormal until I was an adult. I thought the way that we were raised was normal.
But it is normal. It's just not normal to them.
It's not normal to the vast majority of the people that I grew up with.
Right.
My family, I found out when I was with my ex. We were together for 10 years. And in that 10 years, I found out that my family was not the normal family. That, because I know I think I know every last cousin that I have. We really are a tight-knit family. And he told me he has 2 cousins. I said, how is that even possible? You only have 2 cousins.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
what? And he was like, yeah, we did. We used to have family reunions every 2 years. And it was just him and his brothers and sisters and his mom. And then his dad. And his dad lived in a different household. And his mother was estranged from her family. And his dad was estranged from his family. So it was just them. And I was like, what? I was oblivious
But
until
that's
I was
how
an
it
adult.
is.
Yeah. Until I was an adult, I
But
had no idea.
But that's what happens with it's. You know what? The black family has been messed up since, I would say, the late 70s, early 80s. Something happened in that period. That's why we don't have anything today.
It was
And
called
that's why they're
welfare.
using us as guinea pigs today,
It was
because we
called
don't stand up
welfare.
and fight for our own.
Esther, it was called welfare. The husband could not be in the home. The father could not be in the home, and that woman get that welfare check. That's what it was. That's what took us. No, seriously.
You think so?
No, I'm positive that's what it is. Let's think about it this way. And this is I'm very, when I see things, I think about it. I've been in the public assistance office with family members, and the Jewish woman sits there with all of her children and her husband.
Of course. Of course.
And they give them thousands of dollars.
Of course.
And he comes there and he tells them that he has businesses.
Of course.
And they still give
that's
them
what the
money.
system was made for. It was made for them.
But when a black person come there, they asking them for their kids' father's social security numbers. They putting them on child support.
It's the red tape.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
So they will tell these women, if you got a man living, they used to do home checks. If you got a man living in this house, you're not getting no money.
Why you think the Black Panther was so powerful back then of making that system for our family?
Yeah.
Because they know what the government was doing.
Yes, absolutely. The WIC program, that came from the Black Panthers.
Of course.
That came from the Black Panthers. And then they adopted
and you see who took over, right? Yep. The Jews.
Absolutely. We have the foundation. We just got to use it.
Well, we should have been standing up right now trying to use it as this point, because they using us as guinea pigs, baby, and they still shooting us like dogs.
For everything.
Mm-hmm.
They talking about, in order for these kids to go back to school, they have to be vaccinated. You are out of your mind.
Let me tell you something. Back in the days when I was going to school, yeah, you had to have your papers ready. Of course. You better dot them I's and cross them T's. But somewhere between the 80s and the 90s, they dropped it. They dropped all that because they let all these immigrants come in without doing any kind of immunizations.
Yeah, immunizations are not good for children, though. They're not good. They're not good for them. My nieces and nephews, I have 15, 20 nieces and nephews, and more than half, I don't think that, maybe the older ones, my nephew was 31, he was vaccinated as a kid, but everybody after, I think maybe the 17-year-old down, they are not vaccinated. They've never been vaccinated, and they're fine.
Right.
None of them.
Right.
They don't need it, because this is the thing. If vaccines work, and 99.9% of the kids in the school are vaccinated, my unvaccinated child should not hurt your child at all.
I get it.
Which is true, but then I find they try and kind of roll that back with the the vaccine is pretty much is somewhat of a, what was it, like it's not a guarantee, it's just extra protection maybe, because a lot of people started going, well, if my unvaccinated child is next to your vaccinated child, the vaccine is supposed to get rid of it. So why are you even worried about unvaccinated children? Oh, but then they try and
It's
double
something
speak
going
it and
on
shit.
with that. There's
Now
something
let's
going
think
on with
about
that vaccine.
let's think about the flu vaccine.
Right.
Every year is a different flu vaccine.
It's a different thread.
It's a different thread, and they tell you, why am I taking something that you are telling me is only 12%? It's only a 12% accuracy.
And then it makes you sick.
Why would I pump something in my body that's only guaranteed 12% to keep me from getting the flu? That's nothing.
That's a
12%
joke.
is
That's a
absolutely
joke.
nothing.
It's a joke.
30% is nothing. 50% is nothing. Why would I let you inject that in me?
And it made a lot of people sick when they took that vaccination.
Yep.
Let's think about it this way. When you talk about, when the doctors tell you that he's a doctor, he say he practicing.
Oh, I know that.
Why would I want somebody doing something to my body if he only practicing?
Because they testing us out. What's that new thing they call us now? The brown and black people. Where the hell did that come from?
Shoot, you not practicing nothing on me. I know one thing. Before medication and vaccines and these daggone Frankenstein doctors, we was living off of what came out the earth.
That's true.
Okay?
That is true.
If something is wrong with me, I will research what it is and I will fix it naturally. I haven't taken medication since 2005. Maybe aspirin, maybe a Benadryl, because I have really bad allergies. But I'm not taking your medication. Especially if you already tell me that you only practicing on me. You don't know what you're doing. None of them know what they're doing.
And you know what's sad too? That so-called tube that they stick down their nose through their throat, they have some kind of liquid that stuff come out of. They're not even telling you what this is out. What's it made of? They're not telling nobody what it is. But they sticking that in your throat.
Exactly.
It's a test thing. They just trying to find out if the black people can survive this global warfare.
And this is the thing. They're saying that black people are dying at alarming rates from coronavirus.
Oh, now they saying it's white people?
No, black people.
Oh,
but
I was about to say, when did that switch?
I have my friend, his aunt passed away. They lived in New York, and her death was deemed a coronavirus death.
There's no way.
Okay?
No way.
But listen, a lady in the hospital beat her up, and she died from the injuries from being beat by this lady in the hospital. This is an 80-something-year-old woman.
Oh, that's a damn
What the fuck?
I hope they got that person.
Oh, let me tell you, there was in the news. She was in the hospital. Like I said, she is 80-something years old. And she had
wait a minute. Her face was messed up, right? Oh, that's your friend?
That's my friend's
aunt.
Here. Yeah, that's my friend's aunt. And when I was reading the article at first, I was like, why was this even deemed a coronavirus death when she died due to the injuries of this lady attacking her in the emergency room? And they let the lady go.
What?
You got to be kidding.
I'm not kidding you. They let her go and then did not contact her family for 9 hours after she passed away.
Well, that's
man, they were trying to avoid a lawsuit on that one.
Exactly. But this is the thing. What I just expressed would make that a coronavirus death?
They used COVID as the death cause.
Yes.
Because nobody would question an elderly woman getting beat up, because the minute it gets out that she died from getting beat up by a patient that got let go, then a whole shitstorm happens. So it's easier to just go, well, we got a pandemic going on, just say she died from COVID and nobody's gonna question anything else happened. That was their thought train on that, because that's a lawsuit and a half.
They're bumping the numbers. There was another white lady 4 or 5-month-old baby. There was some type of accident in the household. The baby died in their house from the accident that happened. They rushed her to the hospital. She died. They confirmed she was dead. And they tested this dead baby for coronavirus, and they deemed that a coronavirus death.
That's a damn shame.
So the family was fighting it. Like, my baby died from this accident. Why y'all saying it's a coronavirus death? So they're bumping these numbers up.
That's some scary shit. But you
It's
know what's sad? It's sad that they're doing it because, number one, they're getting big time money for this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the funerals is getting big time money. When that happens, I think they get about $12,000 for each body that they put, and then on top of that, you don't see your loved ones at all. They just give you an empty casket. They turn around and cremate their bodies, which they shouldn't do that because, like you said, if they died of natural causes, why do it? But they claim if their bodies sit around, it can develop that virus. That's some bullshit. But they're burning the bodies to get the check. It's all about checks and balances right now. They are making big time money off of dead bodies. They don't care anymore. So, like she said, the higher the numbers, the bigger the check.
Yep, that's all it is. Everything is being deemed coronavirus. But my niece, who has lupus, okay, and she was sick before all of this started, okay, and her primary care doctor. First of all, you have a compromised immune system. We don't want you coming into the office because if somebody does have COVID-19, you'll be exposed to it.
Her immune system is bad. Yeah.
Then he tells her, you need a blood transfusion.
What?
Like she can go to the corner store and get a blood transfusion. He didn't set anything up. He didn't. So Black people are dying because they're completely neglecting even the pre-existing issues that they have.
Yep.
That's why we're dying.
That's the reason.
Okay.
That's the reason
if I'm a nurse and I come to a hospital and I say I'm a nurse and I've been treating coronavirus patients, I have a fever. Well, you know what? If you're a nurse, you know how to fix this. You go home and self-quarantine. They're not testing them. And then they are denying giving them access to medical care. You know how many cases that was? The EMTs. They are not giving us. They're not giving us any type of treatment. They're not even testing us.
You're right, because they say the same thing here in New York. If anybody been shot or stabbed or anything, you on your own.
Yeah.
You on your own. They have to be taking care of the people who have the virus first.
And that's the thing. A lot of Black people got to realize, like, the medical system in this country is fucked. Like, when white people have a cold, we get the flu. So just you could only imagine how bad Black people are having it in the medical system alone. No treatments. You're getting shot. You told, good luck. You get stabbed. Good luck. On top of pre-existing conditions, which most is like 70 million Americans supposedly have pre-existing conditions, on top of a virus that supposed to break down your immune system. So now, anytime you die, they test you. Oh shit, he has COVID-19, even though he got shot. He got shot. We're gonna say he died of COVID to get the boost. But then when they put out the numbers, it's constantly up and down with the deaths because a lot of false positives, on top of not everybody getting tested, on top of not enough tests, on top of the test being garbage. The whole country is a shit show right now. The whole country is a shit show.
And I tell you another thing too. A lot of us is young and Black, number one. So what they doing is they taking your organs and they selling it.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother racket in itself.
Yeah.
Bingo.
So there's another racket right now that nobody is not actually talking about.
You know they selling melanin. They are extracting
of course.
melanin from black people and selling the melanin. Then you have these homosexual white men who now want to go a step further with the I'm a
Oh,
woman.
your
And they're
uterus.
trying to
That's
do uterus
right.
transplants.
That's right.
Okay? They're doing uterus transplants so that these men can have babies. They need our organs.
They're gonna die with the devil, child.
Mm-hmm.
They're
I
gonna
tell
die
you.
with the devil.
And people think that it's that's a conspiracy theory. But how many black people they find in the woods somewhere with no organs whatsoever?
Yeah, or that kid they
Especially
found it.
black women.
Yeah.
You know. So we gotta be real. We gotta pay attention. Pay attention. Don't just be. Listen.
No.
There's so much going on.
It is. Because they grabbing these women and if they telling you like she said, you can go in there for one thing and then come out with something else and they can kill you while you laying in bed because they want your organs.
Oh yeah.
They kill you right off the spot. They feel that you healthy. Oh yeah, we can just clean this person out and they can tell your loved ones, hey, that she or he died of COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
And if a lot of people don't realize because they don't pressure it, they will not let a family member go in there and see their loved ones.
No, because they'll
laying there
use
on
the excuse
the
as the
table.
spread of COVID.
Yeah,
that's right.
These people are
Because
dying
they
by
selling their
themselves.
organs. They selling the organs.
Which I wouldn't be surprised because the hospital industry is already corrupt anyway, and they'll admit you suck your insurance dry. And the minute your insurance can't pay anymore, well, you got to go. We need this bed for somebody else. We're gonna suck dry.
It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame.
But that's another thing people gotta understand. Like if we had our own nation, like, something else, we didn't have to worry about that. You can vet the doctors. Like you can have an actual healthcare system and not a sick care system where if your pill, your medicine that you're getting over the counter has worse side effects than what you have. Like I don't know if anybody's seen the new HIV commercials that just popped up out of fucking nowhere.
Man.
HIV. Oh yeah, I seen it.
We was like, it was crazy. I was in the living room. The TV was just on, and my sister said, "Did you just hear those side effects?" I was like, "Girl, why would I'm like, why would I take something that's going to give me worse side effects than what I got?" Like,
honestly, the side effects of that HIV medicine, you better off contacting Magic Johnson yourself rather than taking the damn medicine.
Thank you.
Side effect may cause death. What?
Like, now that's it right there. You be like, nah, that's all right.
Exactly.
That's
I remember I tore my rotator cuff, right?
Ooh.
And the doctor was saying, yeah, ouch. And the doctor was saying, you may have to have surgery. So I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at, well, what do we have to do for the surgery? And, is it going to get rid of this pain? And he said, there is a 50% chance that the pain will get worse. Why would I let you cut into my shoulder?
Well, at least he was honest enough to tell you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But people, what? Why would you even offer that if the chance, because you're supposed to be repairing this arm. If the possibility is that it's going to be worse, why would you even offer surgery?
Because then you got to push
all
you to opiates.
About the check.
Yep.
No, not my body.
First, they got to get you on the table. Then they'll set you up, but they're not going to give you anything to actually get rid of the pain or do it well enough where you won't need a Vicodin or Xanax or Percocet. So then they got to prescribe you stuff now. But then you got to jump through hoops because since all the white people were dying from opioid overdoses for no good fucking reason,
so true.
Then you got to go to a therapist, a physical therapy therapist, before you can get the medicine that helps you. So you pretty much better off having the surgery and just taking Advil or something That or
I tore
go to
my
Canada.
rotator cuff.
That's
I tore
so
my
true.
rotator cuff in 2014, and every so often it hurts. I'm sorry, I'm not letting
All
y'all
you gotta
cut
do
me.
is be your own therapist.
Girl, I
Pretty
just
much.
twist it. Sometimes I can't pick my arm up past my waist.
I want to
But then
tell
in
you
this case,
something.
I can completely turn it. So yeah, no.
I want to tell you something that a lot of people will tell you put alcohol. That's the worst thing. The best thing you should do, and you and I was just talking about natural stuff. Witch hazel.
I'm to be honest with you,
You
I
rub
don't think
witch hazel on your arm. You just do it every now and then.
I'm gonna try it though, because
Yeah,
every
witch
so
hazel.
often it gets tight. But I don't think that there's anything where I should have. And I'm happy I didn't get the surgery
I'm happy you
because
did.
yeah, but I would be, like you said, on drugs, completely addicted to drugs because the pain was crazy. But it was like it
Oh
was
wow.
every so often. It wasn't a constant pain, but it was times
Right.
where I just couldn't lift my arm up, and my mom was like, "You need to go get that checked out," and I'm like, "Ma, I'll be fine." Yeah,
Right.
no, but Black people believe everything that the doctors tell them. They
Of
believe
course.
everything like they God, and I'm like, no, these people don't know what they talking about.
Right.
They guessing. Everything that they saying to you is a guess.
But it's very rare that you run into a damn good doctor. Very rare.
No, because you got a lot of
That's
people that come over from other countries that become doctors just for the amount to get paid. So
that
they don't become doctors. They want to help you. They want to become doctors because they hear doctors live like rock stars. That's why you have a lot of foreigners come over on the work visas to become doctors because they're like, well, American doctors make so much money than than us back home, which their healthcare system is better than ours because they don't have millions of
right.
people going bankrupt or dying from lack of healthcare or medical malpractice left and right. They just want to be rock stars over here. That's why surgeons make like ridiculous amounts of money off of the simplest of surgeries. Like, oh, you got a kidney stone? Well, that's a $200,000 surgery if you can't pass it. So
Right. But is it me or is majority of the dentists is Indians?
yeah, yeah. As if for the same reason they come over
I'm
here to
like,
make
what
their money.
happened to the black dentists and what happened? Every dentist that I have seen or looked up is from India.
But usually with that, the families already had money, so they just invest in the money, like the schooling for them to come over here. Because no schooling, no medical school, or even law school in America, for whatever reason, is cheap. Like it's ridiculously expensive. I don't know why, but it's just ridiculously expensive. As opposed to where Cuba, you got a bunch of people in Cuba doctors. They going over the world. Like they went to Italy. Italy was dropping dead left and right from the corona because their populations are older. Cuba sent doctors over there.
Wow.
Italy is no longer the epicenter. New York is.
That's
So
right.
and their
And now,
medical is not expensive as hell. I think they get is paid for like, with taxes from Cuba,
It is.
as
It is.
opposed to here.
My
that's
I have
crazy.
a friend who is Cuban, and I remember his grandmother was just old. She just got old and she died. And he went over
Oh
there,
wow.
and I think his parents brought him to the United States when he was like 10 or 11, and he was in his 50s at the time. And he expected to go there and to be impoverished, and they all lived in one house, but it was a mansion. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
huge. And he's thinking that these people are living over there, they're impoverished, and they're downtrodden. And he said no, they just live their life. Like his cousin, she's a professor, and the thing of it is that I paid for you to go to school. You're not going to take my education that I paid for and just leave. That's basically what Cuba is saying.
Yep.
Everybody in Cuba has the opportunity to go to college, and they'll pay for it, but you're not going to use my college
And up
with
and
my
leave.
degree and take it to another country. Okay, but she lived half her life, half the year being a professor in Cuba, and the other half she lived in Brazil.
Wow.
So it's not that they can't leave. You just got to do it the right way. Every government has laws. You got to abide by the laws. It's just simple. You know?
You're right. But talking about the government again, I don't know why the government hasn't taken heed on what China did is clean off their streets. They clean off the blocks. They clean off the buildings. They have some kind of control on the virus itself. New York hasn't done that at all.
It's just stupid. They're just a bunch of idiots. That's what it is.
Well, it's all about profit. So like they don't care about cleaning the streets or anything like that. Then they gotta pay people. They don't want to pay anybody. If it's not some kind of cover up or payoff for somebody, they don't care. Especially Andrew Cuomo. He's like a leftover fucking soprano. So he making all his deals in the back end and the cigar.
Wait a minute. Did you say soprano?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did. Yes, he did.
He's the forgotten soprano. So he cutting your Medicaid. He cutting every kind of thing. And you don't give a damn. The most funny thing I found though with people, they think all these like Cali, New York, because they're supposedly blue. They run by Democrats. That's so awesome. But the DNC is just as corrupt as the Republican states. The only thing is the DNC likes to put a gold plate over their corruption, where the Republicans don't give a fuck.
They sure do. They do.
I don't know.
I'm just hoping that one of them will wake up and clean the damn streets in New York City. That would be nice, and the buildings.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Nah, with the people in power there, that's not happening. Look at the chick that the chick from what is it, Sex in the City. She was trying to run. Then all of a sudden, the people that was gonna vote for her, and people think only Republicans do voter purging. Nope, the DNC purged.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah, she did try to run. You're right.
And she had a lot of support. Then magically, all her voter base got purged from the voter rolls in New York City. Just magically. And it's not a Republican-run state.
Yeah,
You can't blame Republicans for that.
Yeah,
that
was strange.
Politics in itself. That's a dirty business.
Oh yeah.
Only in the United States.
That's everywhere. Politics everywhere.
I believe the UN inspectors said the United States has like the least integrity when it comes to voting. Like you have more integrity if you go to like Venezuela. Socialist democracy, all kind of bad stuff. They still have a better democratic process in voting than America does.
Yeah.
America is it was built on slavery. I mean, that should tell it all. That doesn't change. That's the fabric of this country. Yes, that's the fabric of this country. That doesn't change.
No, corrupt, murder, and slavery.
Pretty much.
I mean, they sent all of their criminals here. That's what they did.
Yeah, they sent their unwashed, degenerate masses over.
Yeah.
Oh well, white people are slaves. Like, no, they were indentured servants who they would like clean somebody's feet for fucking 7 years, then get to live their life. Whereas like black people were actual property, 3/5 of a person. And no matter how many times you cleaned your master's feet until you died, you were a slave.
They were indentured servants because they actually committed a crime.
Yep.
In lieu of going to jail,
yep.
that was them paying for their crime that they committed. Black people ain't do nothing to these daggone savages.
That's true too. But don't sleep on that Jim Crow time. They did more killing than ever, and they got away with it.
They got away with everything.
Got away with it, and like he said, he want to bring back America. He want to bring America back again. That's what he was talking about, Jim Crow, and that's what's happening right now. This is the modern Jim Crow time.
You heard what he said? He said back in the day, he wouldn't have said those things, because if he did, some boys would have came and took care of him. Trump said that at a rally
I heard
He had
that.
to throw meat to his
I'm
base.
surprised you remember that. Yeah, he did
Oh,
say that.
absolutely.
Yeah, he
Absolutely, I
said it.
remember that. Okay, and these people was like, yeah,
It's
what
sad.
is he talking about? And nobody no, that right there should have made him ineligible to be president. If he could think that and say that, articulate that in a public forum,
That's right.
that should have taken him off the board right then and there. But
That's
no,
right. It should have.
that's what this country is built upon.
The Coons came in there and supported his butt.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Negroes or blacks for fucking Trump or some dumb shit like that.
They still supporting him. They still support him.
At this point, any people left supporting Trump is just a cult member. That's it. They just a cult member.
They're not cult members. They are of sound mind and body. They're just evil. That's what that is.
Exactly.
They are of sound in mind and body. I don't care what color they are. Those people are people that we stay the hell away from.
Yeah, you can't talk any fucking sense into them.
No,
They're Lord and Savior.
I don't care to either. I don't care to. Those are the people that you go ahead and you do you.
Yep. That's another thing. Black people complain like online, all these Trump supporters and da 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 da. But like, if you realize if you ran your own shit, you wouldn't have to worry about them. Like we got all these black mayors and council people, but we still have to bow to who? The white guy in office somewhere. If we had our own fucking political system, actual political system, not worry about if Krispy Kreme Krispy from fucking Jersey gives you his blessing to run for office, or like Debbie Wasserman Schultz is gonna burn your your votes like she did to Tim Canova in Florida. Like if we had our own shit, we wouldn't have to worry about this. But the minute you say black people run something, all of a sudden people start flipping shit. Like we can't even jog while black, go to Starbucks while black, breathe while black, ride the bus while black. And now people, what you want? You want black people to run their own system? How dare you? Like, come on, it's just ridiculous here. I can't wait to get a fucking passport.
Man, because they stopped that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they stopped that real quick. Just like with the whole, if you had any debt, well, things the USAA, the USAA bank, if you had any kind of debt with the bank or a debt collector contacted your bank, the minute you got your Trump check, it was gone.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. USAA stopped it because they was facing scrutiny. Which the crazy thing is, USAA is usually used by like veterans. So America's even screwing their own like army force over their own veterans using their bank.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, this system is from top down is fucking horrible. And for some reason, we still got people wanting. We can do it right here if we march hard enough. Maybe one day they'll stop this. Like, no, they're never gonna fucking stop it.
Crazy. All right, brothers and sisters, I gotta go. Gotta get up and go to work in the morning.
All right. Yeah. You essential worker, front line.
Man, I don't understand how I'm an essential worker. But I got a raise for it, so I'm gonna accept that.
Okay, take it. Take it and run.
Take it and run. I'm gonna enjoy my extra little change, okay? But Spectrum is something else, I'll tell you that much.
Well, Spectrum is just rebranded Time Warner, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean it's worse. Time Warner was
worse.
Time Warner was a great company to work for. Spectrum.
Wow.
Woo, man. When I tell you, I've heard about corporations not caring about their employees.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh man.
Well, Spectrum is owned by Comcast, right?
Spectrum is owned by Comcast.
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
Spectrum, Comcast and Spectrum were trying to merge. The government stopped it. Then Comcast bought Charter, and Charter bought Spectrum. That's how that worked.
It's still owned by the shitty evil known as Comcast. I hate fucking Comcast. But all right, I'll let you go. And God, good luck. Fuck Comcast.
Yes. I mean, listen, it is what it is. I'm
Yeah.
just waiting.
Still there, Salima? I think we lost her. All right. Well, thank you, Salima, for coming on, and thank you, Queen Esther, for coming on. It's about 2.5 hours into the stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Thank you, Holip, for sending out the signal flare there. And I'm gonna end the live stream here. And peace, people. Remember, a land infrastructure nationhood is the most important thing. You can look up and down this country, and it doesn't give a damn about the mainstream Americans, aka white people, is not gonna give a damn about the black people, you who's listening, as a 5th and 6th tier class citizen. It's just, yeah, they're not gonna care. You can do your hamster wheel activism, hands up, don't shoot, and all of that. You gotta vote. We've been voting for decades. Another black man was jogging, minding his own fucking business. So there goes to show you how much voting really fucking matters. And yeah, so take it easy, people. Stay safe out there.